coming. I was going to make sure it actually worked this time. Hi everyone. Oh my goodness, I sure hope you can see me this time. I just had a major false start. I think I did like 7 or 8 minutes of video and it turned out I wasn't even on. I don't know if you could hear me or if there was just nothing. So I don't know what that was all about. Strange things happening, I'll tell you that. So anyway, I'm going to try to reintroduce everything that's going on. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to work with the stamp set called Happy Wishes, and it's a 2-part stamp set, which is really, really fun because it's one of those special stamp sets that's easy to work with and elegant at the same time, and you know that's my favorite kind of card, easy and elegant. And the best part about it is you can get it for free because it's one of our celebration items. Stampin' Up! Did something totally different this year. Instead of just having $50 increments on your order and then selecting something free with a $50 increment, if you go as high as a $100 increment on your order, you have the option of either getting a Thinlits set or a stamp set at that increment. And so this is really a great stamp set because it's huge. I mean, there are so many words and so many different ways that you can use this stamp set. And I am going to be using it for a birthday card today. Let me show you the card. It looks like this. And it is so fun. I think I've made 60 of these already because I used it in a swap that I was participating in. And it's just so gorgeous and pretty to put together. There's a lot of sponging on it, but it actually goes a lot faster than you think. And you'll also notice there's some two-tone stamping on here, which is really fun. So maybe it was a good thing we had a false start because, oh, never mind. I thought it was a good thing we had a false start. Well, maybe it still was. But we have another stamp set that we're using out of the celebration, or not the celebration, the Occasions 2017. Good Lord. We have another stamp set we are using out of the Occasions 2018 catalog, and that is the Petal Palette. And so that one looks like this, and I encourage you to get it as a bundle because then you'll save 10% on the stamp set and also on the set of Thinlits that coordinate with it. And then you're almost at $50, so then you can pick something free out of the celebration. But we're going to be using this trio of roses down here. And so I think what I'll do is flip that camera around and we'll get started working with this card. So bear with me and then I can check again and make sure we're actually on. Hold on. So this is what we're making. And you'll notice that this stamp right here is two-toned, and then there's this wonderful kind of light, bright, springy green all the way around it that's sponged in. That's our lemon lime twist. And then on the inside panel, again, we have the two-tone stamping going on here. And then again, a lot of this lovely, bright, springy green that we've got going on. And then, of course, we're using the Petal Palette, so you can see the roses there stamped in the corners. And then another thing that we're using that makes this card really special and gives it just that little extra touch of elegance are these, is this Berry Burst Metallic Edge ribbon. And this is so pretty. I just love it. All right, let us move along and we'll try to actually recreate this card and hopefully no more snafus. So what we're going to do is, well, actually what I'm going to do is give you a tip. I know that a lot of you stamp with the grid paper, and sometimes as you're stamping and your arm is kind of moving across the bottom, have you ever noticed that the corners curl up? Well, you can always flip it around so that you're working with the back side of it, but I hate that because I don't know, I just don't like seeing my Stampin' Up! Down here upside down. So what I do is I just take a little washi tape and I just attach those corners over here down so that it isn't always curling up on me when my arm goes across the bottom of the page. All right, that tip out of the way. Here is the card base that we're going to create, or going to use, I should say. I did not make this card base, but I did cut it and I scored it. This is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2. And then of course I'm going to use my bone folder. Now a lot of you always wonder, oh, which way do I fold it? Because there's a valley side and there's a mountainside. And I recommend, according to some research that I've done, that you will get less breakage if you fold towards the mountain. So that's what we're going to do. And we are going to just take our bone folder and give that a nice good crease so it lies flat for us. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our inside panel, which is hope you have the best day. So our inside panel is going to be 4 by 5 1/4, and this is where we're going to get into some two-tone stamping. So I have the stamps that we're going to use right here, and here is that stamp, the best. So the first thing that I do to create this two-tone stamping is I'm going to ink the whole thing up in our Berry Burst. Oh, now I've got ink on my fingers. Hold on. Actually, I have a lot of ink on my fingers. I don't know how that all happened. All right, then I'm going to take some archival basic black, and I'm just going to bring the ink pad to the bottom, and you can just go like that. And now you have a two-tone image that you can stamp onto your panel here. So we're going to do that. Straight down and straight up. Look at how gorgeous that is. Then we'll do the little bit of stamping that we need to do above and below, and we're going to use the basic black archival ink. And we'll just stamp one here. And then we'll add the day right here. So there's our inside panel. Hope you have the best day. All right, now because this is a little wet and I don't want to be working with it immediately, I have one that I stamped previously to starting this video, so I'll be using that for the inside panel actually. And then we're going to stamp the outside panel next, so let me grab the paper for that. And that also is Whisper White. It's 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to grab the stamp here, and as you can see, here's the word happy. And again, I'm going to ink it up with Berry Burst, one of our Stampin' Up! In colors. And then I'm going to take this archival basic black pad, and I'm just going to put that along that bottom edge, just like so. Then we can stamp it. So we'll line this up, put this right here, and we're going to go for the middle. And that looks pretty good. Then we're going to add some of that trio of roses, and we're going to, that's from the Petal Palette bundle, or the Petal Palette stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp one set of roses up there in the corner and the other set down here. And then we can go ahead and add our words. So we have, I better check and see what this one says. That one says wishing you, so we're going to put that at the top. And then we're going to put birthday right here. Wishing you a happy birthday. Isn't that great? It looks so nice. And of course you'd want this to dry just a little bit before you start sponging it. So again, I worked a little bit in advance of the video so that I would have one ready for you so we can just get started on all that sponging, because there is a lot of sponging with this card. So the sponging colors that we're going to use are of course the Lemon Lime Twist, because that's going to be kind of this halo that we're going to put all around the card. And then we're going to do the leaves in Tranquil Tide, and of course the roses get to be done in Berry Burst. So let me get some of these stamps out of the way, and I'm going to sit here and we're going to do this. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is that your fingers can get pretty messy doing this. Now, my fingers got messy in advance. I guess it was when I was opening the ink pads and inking some of those stamps. But what I like to do is take little binder clips and just take a little wedge of sponge and put it on a binder clip. That does protect your hands quite a bit. And so we're going to use this one on the leaves. So I think I'm going to start just doing these leaves, and I just inked it up, and it sort of gives you this controlled sponging. So you're still going to have a lot of, it's not, now this is not supposed to look perfect. It's supposed to look, I don't know, sort of Monet-ish, where it's got a little bit of a spread to it. In fact, let me bring this back into the picture so you can see what I mean. See, it's not all contained within the lines. You don't want it to be all contained within the lines. You want it to look nice and loose and flowing. And so that's what we're going to do. So I consider this to be done as far as the leaves go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take another one of these little sponges that I've put into a binder clip, and I'm going to ink it up with the Berry Burst, and then we're going to do the rest of the sponging just on those roses. And thank you all again for joining me. And I had 2 false starts today. One where I thought I was on, and then another where I actually was on, and then I hit the button and turned myself off. So it's been kind of a rough morning. Apparently I didn't drink enough coffee. Now I did see a little bit of a leaf here in the corner, so I went ahead and I added a little bit more of the green to that bottom corner. So this, in my world, I consider this to be done. So just love it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the sponging that is going to be the green part, that light kind of springy, gorgeous green. And that is our lemon lime twist. And we're going to use a good size wedge for that. So again, this is our Stampin' sponges from Stampin' Up. And I cut it, I don't know, this is probably not quite 1/4. And I wanted it kind of big. And I know my sponges are always dyed different colors, and I'll tell you why. I can't remember the last time I bought sponges from Stampin' Up because they wash up so beautifully. I mean, they might be stained. See, there's nothing on this because I washed it up with a little soap and water, let it air dry, and then it's good to go with whatever color you want to use next. So even though it looks like it's red, it's not. I'm going to be using it in green today, and it will be just fine. So we're going to ink this up, and I actually think because this needs a little teeny bit more time to dry, I'm going to take that first one, this inside panel, and we're going to do our sponging on this first. So now what I'm going to do is I'm looking for these really broad and long strokes to add this green to the inside panel. And we're only going to go on 2 sides. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that I made 60 of these, and this way I cut down how much sponging I had to do. So there it is. And if you want to, you can go in and just darken that up a little bit. Because if you put it on your paper, you will actually be able to darken it up a little bit. So the inside panel is now done. And let me grab the card base here. We're going to take some snail along the top. And we'll just set that right here on the inside panel. And I know some of you are commenting, and I can't look today because I just can't see it. For some reason, all of the comments are showing sideways, and I cannot make cards and tilt my head sideways and still make cards and read the comments. Normally they come up, I don't know, from they sort of come up from the bottom and I can see them, but today they're all coming up sideways. So I don't know if that means the camera is sideways and everything you're seeing is sideways or not, but it won't surprise me because it's been that kind of a day as far as my Facebook Live goes. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the sponging on this card, and again we're going to take our lemon lime twist. I'm a little worried about this because I don't feel like it's really dry enough, but I did not have one prepared in advance, so we're just going to take a chance. So I am going to start by staying away from where it might be wet, and then I'll do where it might be wet at the very end. So again, I'm wanting some big broad strokes. So we're making kind of a halo around here. Okay, now we're going to take a chance and put it a little closer here and hopefully not transfer much ink. Oh, that looks pretty good. There we go. So we did it. Okay, so this is the outside panel. All right, now we need to stack this on a piece of basic black so it will give it nice pop. And the basic black is going to be 1/8 inch larger than our panel that we've been working with here. So that's going to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And we're going to take the snail again. And this time we're just going to, now this is always tricky when you're working at the 1/8 inch border. So I'll share a little tip with you. Provided you've cut everything straight, you can just take a finger in each corner, and then if you look at this corner and they're even, then you can count on this corner and this corner also being even. So then you can just set it down and it should be good to go. Burnish that down a little bit and I'll show you up close how nice that looks. Now there's a little bit of ribbon wrapping we need to do, so let's bring in this ribbon. And as I was telling you before, this is something new in our Spring Occasions catalog. I love it. It's the Berry Burst silver edged ribbon. So I'm just going to cut about 3 of these strips here, all probably about 5 inches long or so. And then what we're going to do is tape these onto the back. So we're looking to make sure this is sort of a 45-degree angle here, and then we'll flip it around and we'll do a little Scotch tape. So here's the first one. And that looks pretty good. You don't want it too wide because then you're going to be getting into your sentiment over here. There we go. So there's the first one. Now we need to make one that looks exactly like it, about the same distance and everything on the bottom. So again, we'll grab this. And what I meant to say, before I got all distracted by my project here, is that not only can you find this ribbon in our Occasions catalog in Berry Burst, but Stampin' Up! Offers it in our annual catalog as well. They have it in Whisper White with a silver edge, and then they have it in kind of an ivory color with a gold edge, and it's really nice. And if you want to, you can take Stampin' Blends and color over the top of the ribbon and actually come up with any color you want based on the colors of Stampin' Blends that we have available. So I've seen a lot of people make some remarkable projects with that. Now we're going to take this little extra piece of ribbon that I had and we're going to tie it onto our card. So I'll just do a little tie on. Flip it over. Perfect. Now we'll take the scissors and we'll just trim it. And I don't have my ribbon scissors here, it's across the room, but this one works pretty good. So isn't that cute, you guys? I just love it. Okay, now we're going to flip it over again because we need to add some dimensionals. Uh-oh, where are they? Looks like I forgot to put them on the table. Fortunately, they were just a couple steps away. So I'll put 5 of them on. And we'll take the peelies off. All right, now we'll put this onto our card front. So here we go. So we'll just center that in so all 4 borders are nice and even. And we have our completed card. Do you love it? Thank you so much today for joining me through my 2 false starts, and it was great having you here when we finally did get going. So I'm going to get this kind of messy grid paper out of the way and show you what these look like. So once again, thank you for being a part of my Stamping to Share community. I truly appreciate you and hope that you've enjoyed this and that maybe this will inspire you to place an order from Stampin' Up! So you can get your happy wishes for free. Have a great day. Bye-bye.